Hello, everyone. I am Angel from Dallas, and I have known the Focolare since I was a small kid. Right now, I am currently a Gen 2. I barely became a Gen 2, so yeah, I'm 18 finally. um, and I got to know the Focolare because of my mom. I've had many close calls with death, but none of the most impactful. Whereas as 3 years ago. I went with my family to San Antonio to play in wheelchair basketball. I went to go play a tournament there. I didn't feel well at all throughout the games that we had. I could realize by the end of that day, it was a Saturday. I remember by the end of the day, I felt that it just wasn't me at all. It felt very strange. On Sunday morning, when I was getting ready to play the championship with my team, I decided to use a restroom and immediately I passed out. Um, I didn't know it at the time, but I had a heart attack at such a young age. I was 15 at the time, which is just ridiculous that a 15-year-old would have a heart attack that young, of course. And I was rushed to a nearby hospital. And that was when I had in the ambulance, I remember that they were telling me to not sleep. Don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep, because they knew that it would be another heart attack. I didn't know that at the time. I just felt sleepy. That's what I told them. And feeling sleepy, I decided to take another nap, but it ended up being another heart attack. I decided to say goodbye to my parents, to my sister, um, and I told them that I thanked them for being my family, to continue on in life, that to not worry as much for my death, that I will be fine, that as long as they pray for me, then I'll pray for them back. Shortly after that, I passed out a third time, and that was my third heart attack. Keep in mind that the three heart attacks were in one singular day. So it was a really weird experience and also very traumatizing. But um, although it was only 10 days that I was in the hospital at San Antonio, it was agonizing. It was hard. Although I had been in the hospital before because I have a condition that um, it's a blood disorder that doesn't that have tumors, and it's a malformation in my circulatory system. Therefore, I have to take care of the tumors and whatnot. At that point in my life, I realized that I was not going to be able to play basketball again. I always felt like I never wanted to continue living on. I felt that the stress and the anguish was too much for my heart, too much for my soul. Thankfully, there was a Focolarino there in San Antonio, um, and his name was Spode, otherwise known as his full name was Martin Klingbacher, but we always called him Podi. But I was able to have a much deeper conversation when he went to go visit me at San Antonio. He took the Eucharist to our area, our room, and I was able to receive it. I even got um, anointing of the sick because he asked for it for me. We were incredibly thankful for his moments in that hospital. He made my life a little more bearable in those moments, especially when he said that um, every single time before he left, he would tell me all that all that suffering, just put it in a box and believe that God will just take it away from you. Believe in his love, in his grace, in his compassion, that that suffering is not is not forsaken, is not for nothing. And I always remember those words. I never ever forgot them. They always made me realize that no matter how tough my situation is, or anyone's situation, to trust that God is there suffering with you. Although sometimes we can't see Him because we are blinded by suffering or we are blinded by anguish, that He is there. He is there to carry us off our feet when we can no longer walk the path of life. After getting out of the hospital and coming back to Dallas, we kept in touch. I told him my worries and how was life in the moment. And I always waited patiently and listened to his wisdom that he offered. Um, Later on, of course, years later after that, I heard that he was in a weakened state. And I think after his death, I haven't mourned his loss necessarily, but I remember going to his funeral mass in San Antonio. And one thing that did make me cry was that even though he had lived many years of experiences with other people, with many people, he considered me a big part of his last years. To this day, I don't know what I did to deserve such high honor, but I hope that he can continue to vouch for me in heaven. Bodhi was not only a mentor, guide, and a friendly person to everyone around him. He was also my best friend, one that took years to find, and one that hopefully I get to see again someday. Thank you.